My first mission trip was to Mexico. I was 10 years old and I went with my dad.
Before I went on the trip, I was in 7th grade and was very much so wondering who I was and who I was going to be. And so I went to Vietnam, kind of this not really sure how I fit in, gangly middle schooler.
I guess my whole world was kind of always about me and what I wanted to do most of the time. I think it hit me really hard, especially because just some of the kids there are so special to me too, and they're just so cute, and then that they have to live in a place that used to be a dump and a house of trash, and then I look at my house and I'm like, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve any of this.
I really came back kind of with this new identity as kind of a lover of Vietnam. And I probably drove my friends crazy because that's all I could talk about.
I'm home on my wall, I have a ton of pictures of just all the friends I've made, and it's special to me to just be able to see them and think of them and know that sometimes they're thinking of me too.
The irony is that they wanted what I had, but I wanted what they had. And they wanted and needed my stuff, but I wanted to have peace and joy despite my circumstances. And if I don't have those things, to know that I would be okay without them.
Going to La Colonia that first time was just something that I will never forget. And the most striking thing about it was seeing how these little girls or little boys had nothing, but they had the biggest smiles on their faces and they were full of joy. And when you go back to the States, a lot of times I think that we're missing out on some of that joy because our life is filled with a lot of other distractions and consumerism.
The first few times that I went to Mexico, I got on a spiritual high every time. I was happy every time I went to Mexico, but it didn't necessarily feel like a peak of my spirituality each time. And sometimes it just felt the same as when I was back home. And at first that really worried me, but then I realized that actually could be a good thing, that I'm not changing dramatically when I go to Mexico anymore, but it's just my life.
Mexico has changed a lot of what I just want to do with my life, and because I don't even know what I wanted to do before, maybe grow up, make a lot of money or something, but now I just know, every year I go and I just know, God wants me to do something with missions.
Kind of dream of working in Washington, D.C., maybe working with social justice groups or something like that.
Even though I changed my degree 3 times, I knew all along that whatever degree I got, I wanted to use it for ministry and missions. And I ended up graduating with a Humanities International Studies degree.
This past semester, I took a course on human rights and have fallen in love with the idea of advocating for other people.
I always said that my dream job would be to do what John Winters does. And so hopefully one day I'll just get to take over his spot.
With the gifts that God's given me to be able to understand both languages and both cultures, it just felt right for me to know that this is what I'm supposed to do, that Vietnam is where I'm supposed to go back, and I want to make it a better place.
Your whole life is meant to be a mission trip, and some people are called to that mission in a third world country or a foreign country, and then some people are called for it right here in Knoxville.
When I came to America 6 years ago, really, I just said, I'm not gonna ever come back there. It's so much better here. But that's, I guess, is another thing that I've learned growing up, is that you can't only just stay in a good place. You have to go out there and make other places that are not good better. And that's when amazing things happen.